Hello, my name is Ara Cho, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of the Asian Student. Hello, my name is Ara Cho, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of the Asian Student Alliance. We want to share with you the story of ASA, where we are now, where we're headed, and how we would love to invite you to join us on our journey. A challenge that many Asian American youth grow up experiencing is this feeling of invisibility and powerlessness. We oftentimes wonder where we belong and where our voices matter. So the question is, how do we empower and instill agency in the next generation? ASA is the only existing Asian American youth-based civic leadership nonprofit organization in the U.S. Deep South. We envision a world where Asian American youth work in solidarity with the larger community to build belonging, collective power, and well-being for everyone. And we do this through our youth programming around leadership development, advocacy and civic engagement, and storytelling. We were founded in 2021 by a group of 7 Asian American educators in Gwinnett, including myself, following the March 16th Atlanta spa shootings. We wanted to create a space where Asian American youth can heal in community and dream up a better future together. In 2021, I was a language arts teacher, and it was my 3rd year out of middle school. And I remember the deep, hollow feeling of loneliness I felt the day after the tragedy. I had become a teacher because I wanted to create a space where youth feel a sense of belonging and feel seen in their whole humanity. And that day after the tragedy, I just remember going down the hallway of school and feeling so alone. And my entire world had shifted. My sense of safety and belonging completely shattered, and no one was talking about it. 5 years later, our communities still continue to experience fear and feelings of powerlessness with the increased attacks on immigrant communities and policies that don't work for working class families. So while our work is focused on empowering youth, we do this with our eyes set on the long-term future. Our students don't stay students forever. They grow up to become our next leaders. There's a significant leadership gap amongst Asian Americans. We're the least represented racial group in leadership positions across all industries, career fields, and government. And when we are invisible, decisions that are made for us fail to reflect the needs of our community. But we must also remember that representation is not the end goal. We want Asian American leaders who have a critical understanding of power and their positionality as Asian Americans, and the discipline to build solidarity so that the decisions they make benefit all marginalized communities. There are layers to the leadership gap, one of them being the model minority myth. And without identity-affirming spaces, Asian Americans grow up internalizing and oftentimes perpetuating the stereotype that we are quiet people who don't stand up against personal injustice and larger systemic social injustices that also impact us. Another issue in our community is the perpetual foreigner stereotype that labels us as forever foreigners, never American enough. And this sentiment is what led to the rise in anti-Asian hate crimes during COVID-19 and the ICE raids that happened in Savannah, Georgia just last year. And these issues that we see in our communities impact our youth's well-being, in addition to the many unreported cases of racism and microaggressions they experience at school. This is a study by Dr. Soyeon An, and it really shows us with clarity how systems work to uphold these issues, right, and contribute to these issues. And one of the systems we look at is schools. And this study shows the number of times Asian American content is taught by state from K through 12. And in the state of Georgia, Asian American history is only mentioned 3 times in a span of 12 years of a student's schooling. And she says that even when we aren't included, Asian Americans are primarily depicted as an oppressed group, lacking civic agency, or new immigrants with little contribution to the building of this nation. And it makes me wonder, what if we grew up seeing ourselves like this instead? Like Yuri Kochiyama, who was an ally to the civil rights movement, or Larry Leong, who made sure that Filipino farm workers worked in solidarity with Mexican farm workers, or the students who fought for ethnic studies alongside Black, Chicano, Indigenous, and Asian American students. Our work is focused on activating students through various touch points, meeting them where they are. One of our work includes our educational justice work that includes teach-ins on Asian American history to teach students about the history that they don't get to really engage with at school, so that they get a sense of and get to learn about their own history. And we support them as they advocate for Asian American and ethnic studies at their schools. We also take our youth to the Georgia State Capitol every year to bridge the connection between our youth community and legislators. And we train them on policy proposals so that they can advocate for issues that matter to them and their communities. We also have engaged students through our social emotional wellness programming. This is an example where we've created slime together to have some conversations around stress, which led to deeper conversations on identity, family dynamics, and all of this leads to community building. Our flagship event, the Youth Leadership Conference, activated Asian American youth in the first 3 years of our organization through youth-led workshops on collaborative leadership, rewriting our narratives, identity, and more. We utilize creative storytelling as a vehicle for self-expression and advocacy. We've done this through our passion show, where we showcase youth stories and art pieces, and our lunchbox play, which was written by ASA youth, highlighting their stories. Our youth internship program is a year-long paid internship for Asian American high school and college students, and we have this program in place to provide direct leadership opportunities and mentorships from our directors. Over the past 5 years, we've been able to directly work with and engage over 1,200 youth across 5 districts in the Metro Atlanta area. And of course, these youth went back to their schools to activate and impact their peers. We're also very fortunate to work alongside with over 300 adult community members and leaders in the process. And 14 of our youth were hired through the ASA internship program. And this year we were featured on 11 Alive on API Heritage Month to highlight the work that we do to impact the youth in our community and mobilize them. Michael is one of our youngest members, and he has been with us since he was 12 years old, and now he's going on to high school. And when we asked him what ASA means to him, he says, "I've grown in my confidence to speak my thoughts and embrace my cultural background. I'm passionate about sharing the Asian American history I learned through ASA and advocate for an inclusive history curriculum at our schools." And his story reminds us that no one is too young to make a difference. To give a little bit of context on our educational justice initiatives, back in 22, our youth went to school board meetings in Gwinnett County to advocate for anti-bias training for teachers. And through the collaboration of district leaders and ASA, Gwinnett County created and developed a professional learning series for their teachers and staff on anti-bias training, cultural sensitivity, and cultural competencies. Our students also advocated for an inclusive history curriculum. And through our youth's relentless advocacy, Gwinnett County became the first ever school district in the state of Georgia to develop an Asian American history course. So where are we now? While this course has been created, the implementation of it at each school depends on staff capacity and largely student interest. And so it's up to our students to advocate for this course to be taught at their schools. Which brings us to this new school year. We are focusing our efforts on sharing more about and teaching more Asian American studies with our youth, so that they have an understanding of the history that they're missing out on at school, right? So that they know what is possible, and that way they can advocate for these courses to be taught at their schools. We're continuing with our civic engagement, social emotional wellness, and youth internship programming, and strengthening our cross-racial and intergenerational coalitions, particularly through our youth and adult mentorship program. And we're also excited to share that in 2027, our Youth Leadership Conference will be coming back. Our long-term vision is that by 2030, we want to mobilize youth at every high school across the Metro Atlanta area to advocate for the teaching of ethnic studies at their schools. And ethnic studies is not limited to Asian American history, it's the studies of all marginalized communities. And this is where we need your help. According to AAPI data report this year, less than 0.4% of philanthropic dollars goes to Asian American organizations. Our fundraising goal for this year is $150,000. Any amount helps. A one-time donation, monthly donation, and even sharing about our work in your community goes a long way. Here are some options for monthly donations or annual sponsors. And we hope that we will be able to continue to make a difference and make an impact in our communities this school year, and engage more youth during these times. Your support is a commitment to the next generation of Asian American leaders. If you could follow us on Instagram, check out our new website. If you have any questions, you can email me at admin@asalliance.org. And thank you so much for being a part of our journey and a part of our story.